YouTubers, this is your boy Amari Points here, bringing you the latest movie review. Today I'm doing my movie review on Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. What can I tell you about this movie? It was okay, but somewhat not okay. This movie is basically an origin story for the superhero we all know and love as a little kid. Sorry, I had to clear some stuff off my bed. This movie, like I said, this movie is basically an origin story for the superhero that we all have known and read as a kid, Captain Underpants. This and it follows two best friends, George, played by the funny comedic Kevin Hart, and Harold, played by Thomas Middleditch. Ditch. Sorry. And these two are always pulling pranks around their school, like changing the words changing the words their school on their school board and everything. But their principal, Mr. Crump, played by Ed Helms, is just tired of those two pulling pranks all over the school. So he devises a plan to end their friendship, and make sure they honestly don't end up being friends anymore. But little does he know that they have a hypno ring, like you've seen in the book, in the trailers. And those two best friends hypnotize him and make him do whatever they want. And get this, they turn him into the awesome Captain Underpants. Tra la la. Sorry, I had to say that because Captain Underpants was like my favorite book growing up as a little kid. And he ends up kind of being a big problem for those two. They have to make sure that he doesn't cause any trouble or draw attention to himself. So they make him wear the same clothes that their normal principal, Mr. Crump, is wearing. But little do they know, danger is coming to their school. And his name is Professor Poopy Pants, played by Nick Kroll. And I know Professor Poopy Pants is actually a last funny name. And the film, but there's some negatives and positive towards this film. The negative, the film's breakneck pacing can sometimes be exhausting, especially during like the third act where it's kind of really slow. And the positive, but when the film is stretching at the believability of its world, the talent personalities of the voice cast help bring this film back to life, especially with Kevin Hart, who I've seen in a few movies. Like, I can't remember. I think it was The Wedding Ringer and the Secret Life of Pets. I know he was in there. He was playing like the small little bunny, and I was actually cracking up in that movie too, because I love how he played this cute, adorable bunny. But in this movie, his comedy went off the charts. He was playing this little kid George, and I loved how he brought this character to life because it made a lot of sense that he did, and also I loved how he took the time to make sure that his character was legit off the chart and funny, and his voice actually fits this little kid's character perfectly. Thomas Middleditch, playing Kevin Hart's best friend Harold, is actually really funny too. He comes up. Harold is basically the one that comes up with basically like the designs and ideas for their next comic, which I think they make together. They make the best team, because best friends like that, you need a best friend like who always makes you laugh and help you with all your big funny ideas, such as George and Harold. And Ed Helms, playing Mr. Crumps, aka Captain Underpants, he took the time to make sure that he gathered the energy to play this mean, grouchy old principal who honestly is just the biggest jerk in all the whole world. And and he also made sure that the that he brought all this super upbeat energy to play the funny superhero we all know and love. We need we need actually more movies like that where they actually become like the funny comedic guy, upbeat, and the mean grouchy person. But I still have some problems with the movie. Like the main storyline, I honestly thought it was kind of slow a little bit. But what they could have done better is that they made sure that they made sure that the movie was well the movie storyline was well thought out and not really boring that you could fall asleep on, especially like when I said during the third act. They need like if they make a sequel to Captain Underpants, please DreamWorks make sure that that the storyline for this movie is actually going to make people laugh. But on to the comedic stuff in the movie. I actually was cracking up on a few parts. There were a lot of comedic stuff that I don't want to spoil for you guys that you'll actually enjoy watching. I myself was literally laughing in my seat all the time where there was actually some funny comedic stuff coming up. And I especially laughed at Professor Poopy Pants' last name. I mean, come on. When someone has a funny last name like that, sorry about that. When someone has a funny, like I said, when someone has like a funny last name like that, like Professor Poopy Pants, you're gonna have to laugh. The whole problem is that he wanted to get rid of laughter because he was just sick and tired of people laughing at his last name. So he created something, I can't say what, to get rid of laughter. But he just couldn't, Professor Poopy Pants just couldn't laugh at himself because he was just a downer. He was just a little bit of a downer because he really couldn't understand why people were laughing at his last name. Nick Kroll, as this funny comedic professor, he actually made sure to bring this character to life, along with the rest of the cast. Nick Kroll actually made sure that he played this mean supervillain to get rid of who wanted to get rid of laughter for all the little kids and the whole world because he just didn't like laughter, which I can basically understand, like why he wanted to get rid of laughter because he was just tired of people laughing at his last name. But all in all, the comedy in this movie was great. The storyline, not so much. I really do hope that the storyline for the next Captain Underpants movie, hope if by any miracle they make one, is so much better than the first one. And on to the rating. I give Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, a B+, because the comedy in this movie was good. I just didn't like how the main storyline was going with the movie. Also, I enjoyed the voice cast of this movie and all the funny stuff they brought to life. All the funny stuff that they brought to life as well. And along with the comedic jokes they made, which I honest to God enjoyed a lot in this movie. I really do hope that I get to see more DreamWorks movie like that. Excuse me. I like I said, DreamWorks animation is really stepping up the game just by a bit, but they need to step it up a whole lot because I want them to do more animated movies that actually are funny and heartwarming. If they can do that, then I will be one of the most happiest people on earth if they do. And that's it for my movie review. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and press that little notification bell at the bottom of the video so you can subscribe to more of my movie reviews. Take care and God bless. Peace.